Good day, my yoga students. So, in today's session, it's all going to be mental because we're going to be going over the final exam. So, this is a review for you. We're actually going to go over the actual questions. So, you can always come back to this video if you need to as a reference. Everybody's going to get an A on it. The main thing I wanted you to get out of this semester was definitely the physical aspect of yoga and the mind body connection. So, this is just, kind of review of everything that we've done throughout the semester and that I've told you. So, I have the actual test right here. And again, you can take notes. You can always come back and to this and review. Please, a little housekeeping. Finish your exam by this Friday so that I have time to correct these and submit your grades. Your last day of class is technically on a week from today, on the 5th, but I want to get those final exams done. And then the last thing you want to submit, and the earlier you submit that, the better, but it is your own personal yoga flow that you created for yourself, and you'll just video yourself doing that. And please try to turn that in as soon as possible, but at the very latest, have that to me on Monday, I believe I said, of next week. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the review. The first part of the test is matching definitions to terms. So you'll have the definitions, and then you'll have the terms, and you'll have the definitions, and you'll have to match it. So we're going to go over these. The first one is that Sanskrit word. Remember, there's a couple of Sanskrit words that we need to know, because if we go to a traditional yoga class, they might speak in Sanskrit. They might say, we're going to do this asana. So the first term is asana, and asana literally means pose or posture, and that's spelled A-S-A-N-A, asana. All right. Again, we're not getting very many visual here, but I do have some visual stuff coming up. The next term is chakra. That's C-H-A-K-R-A, chakras. We went over our chakras, and we have 7 of them. So it's chakras. The definition is 7 wheels of energy located on the body. The third term you need to know is yoga. Just that term yoga literally means union, and it's yoking the mind and the body. The definition that you'll match it with is union, an exercise system designed to achieve muscle extensibility, muscle strength, balance, and physical and mental health. The next term is flexion. The word flexion, we needed to understand in yoga what is flexion and was an extension. We had a whole yoga flow around that. So flexion literally means bending a joint to create a shorter angle. Joint brought closer together, like bending the spine forward. So again, forward folds would be flexion of the spine, and extended mountain would be extension. All right, so flexion, making the angle shorter. Right now, when I flex my arm up, the angle got shorter. That's flexion. The next term is core stability, which is very important in yoga. And the definition of that is using muscles of the abdominal, spine, pelvis for greater strength and internal support. So remember, when we do poses, we want to have core stability, and that's this whole area here, the core of your body. Everything extends from there. So if you don't have a stable core, it's going to be harder to hold those poses. The next term is namaste. All right, namaste literally means a respectful greeting or gesture, acknowledgement of the soul in one by the soul in another. So again, traditionally, it is said at the end of yoga class with the hands held together and namaste. But if you were to go to India and you greet somebody, instead of shaking their hand, you might say namaste as a greeting. All right. The next term is extension. We just talked about flexion. So extension is straightening a movement that increases the angle between two body parts. So again, flexion, angle got shorter. Extension, the angle got longer. Okay. Again, flexion of the spine, extension of the spine. So just understanding the difference between the two. The next term is another Sanskrit term, prana. Prana is what? It's your breath, considered the life force giving force, your prana, your breath. And we did a whole, we call it pranayama when we do a breathing exercise in yoga. Next term is a yogi. You all are yogis now, right? Now and forever. So I hope you continue. But literally, a yogi is a dedicated practitioner of yoga. The next term is Hatha Yoga. Hatha, again, is a Sanskrit word, and it's spelled Hatha. And that's the main yoga that we did in this class, even though we did the other types too. But Hatha Yoga is a branch of yoga concentrating on the physical poses. So we call it the forceful yoga and breathing control. So it's that physical aspect of yoga. Next term is another Sanskrit term, your mantra. One of your lesson plans or one of your homeworks that you did was you created your own mantra. So the term mantra literally means a potent sound or word which are repeated or chanted out loud or silently in one's mind. The last term, there should be 12 terms, is align the spine. Very important. What we mean by aligning the spine, it's a principle that creates optimal biomechanical positioning of the body when moving and holding poses. Head, neck, back are stacked together. So again, when we do the cat, our head comes down because we want our spine to stay aligned, all right? So when we're doing poses in yoga, we try to make that spine stay aligned, whether it's curved or it's straight, it's still in alignment. The next part of the test, so that's done with the terms, is going to be multiple choice questions. So the first multiple choice question is, yoga was originally written in what language? Is it Indian, Hindu, English, or Sanskrit? And I hope you're thinking in your mind or saying out loud, can't hear you, you're saying Sanskrit. Remember, it's that dead language of India that is used in traditional yoga classes. Remember, I told you that mountain pose in Sanskrit is Tadasana, and that's that Sanskrit words. The next multiple choice questions is, how many poses are in the sun salutation series? The options are 10, 8, 9, or 12. The answer is 12. There's 6 poses in and 6 poses out, but total, there are 6 poses that make up, 12 poses that make up the sun salutation. So the answer is 12. The next multiple choice question is props used in yoga practice. The first A is blankets and mats, blocks and bolsters, straps and pillows, or all of the above. Yes, all of the above is the correct answer. All right. Next one is, which one is considered a relaxation pose? Is it the tree, down dog, corpse, or cobra? Cobra, no. Corpse pose is the answer. All right, the corpse pose. Next multiple choice question is, all of the following describe the mountain pose except. So all of these are true about the mountain pose except. Low back lengthened, abdominals engaged, head centered over shoulders, chest collapse and shoulders forward, legs straight but knees soft. All right. All of those are true except you don't want your chest collapsed forward, right? We want the shoulders down and back and the chest lifted, right? So that would be the answer. The next question is specific to my practice that I do with you. The warrior series we perform in class is consisting of what? All right. So let's just focus on the right answer here. So what do we usually do? In class, we do warrior 1, we do warrior 2, we do reverse warrior, and we do warrior 3 in that order. All right. So it'd be 1, 2, reverse, and 3. That is the correct answer. The next multiple choice question is, which of the following populations can do yoga? Is it children, women who are pregnant, people with diabetes, or all of the above? And you all said all the above. I know you did because I taught you. All right. I've been a good yoga teacher, I think. All right. Next question is, which pose is included in the sun salutation series? So again, I wanted you to memorize the sun salutation series so that after you're done with this class, I hope that you continue to do it. So which of these is not part? Is it the mountain pose, down dog, tree pose, cobra pose? The answer is the tree pose is not part of the sun salutation series. The next question is, according to Yoga Fit practice, so remember my training is in Yoga Fit, and we talked about the 7 principles of alignment in Yoga Fit. So this one, even if I didn't go over the 7 principles, you would get this correct. I almost guarantee you. So let's go ahead and read the question. According to Yoga Fit practice, the 7 principles of alignment include all of the following, except create core stability, hinge at the hip, knees turned in, toes turned out, align the spine. So we want our knees to always track with our toes. So that would be the one that is not correct. So we don't want our knees turned in and our toes turned out. If we are doing, for example, the moonflower, we would want the knees and toes aligned so they both would be turning out. And if we're in mountain, we want the knees tracking with those toes too, all right? Next question. There are several methods of Hatha Yoga, including, so remember, think about what Hatha Yoga is. It is that forceful yoga. It's the physical aspect of yoga. So again, there are several methods of Hatha Yoga, including flow yoga or Vinasana, Tai Chi and meditation yoga, power yoga, or both A and C, which is both the flow and the power. And that is the answer. Tai Chi is not yoga, and meditation yoga is not really Hatha. It's just when you're meditating, there's not that much physical aspect. It's more of the mental yoga. The next 2 questions, I've really drilled this in you, so I know that you're going to get these right. The first one is, for energizing breath, one should make the blank longer than the blank. So if we want an energizing breath, is the inhalation or the exhalation going to be longer? For energizing, we want the inhalation, we're energizing, breathing in the energy, to be longer than the exhalation, all right? So energizing, we want the inhalation longer than the exhalation. Very next question says, for a relaxation breath, we want to make the exhalation longer than the inhalation, because you're trying to relax, so you're trying to let it all out, and you're trying to make the exhalation longer than the inhalation for relaxation breath. All right, the next set, so we had our matching of terms, we had multiple choice. Now we're going to have true and false. So you got a 50-50 chance here. Let's go through these. Namaste is a Sanskrit word said with prayer hands, usually at the end of yoga practice. And I know you all answered true. The next question, a prone pose is done lying on your back. So let's talk about that. A little tip for you to remember. If you're lying on your back, it's your spine and it's supine. So quartz pose would be supine, right? You're lying on your spine. If you're prone, you're on your pelvic bone or your pubic bone, lying on your stomach. So think about that. Your cobra is going to be prone, right? So prone, pubic bone, and then spine supine. So again, a prone pose is done by lying on your back. That would be false. The next question is, yoga is for athletes or very fit individuals only. And we know that's very false. Any and everybody can practice yoga. Next question, true or false? Sun salutation is a series of poses used to warm up your body. And that is true. It's to get you set for the day, to energize you, and get you mentally and physically ready for the day. Next question, mountain pose. The head in mountain pose, the head, shoulders, hips should be level and aligned. And that is true. In mountain pose, we want everything lined up. Okay, strong mountain. Next question, knees should be locked in the forward fold. Oh no, We don't want to lock, we want soft knees, right? So that would be false. So even though my legs are straight, my knees are still going to be soft. Very important that you don't lock out. Then you're loading the joint, right? We don't want to do that. We want the muscles working. When the knees are soft, those muscles are engaging. That's what we want. Next question. Knees should be, we already did that one. A block is a prop used to modify yoga postures. And yes, we had a whole class on props. This is a block, and yes, it can be used to modify. It can shorten the lever and forward fold, for example. The moon salutation yoga flow is meant to be done in the evening as a way to relax and stretch tight muscles. And that is true. Remember, sun salutations done in the morning to energize you, and it could be outside in the sun. And the moon salutation, same thing. You could be outside with the moon shining and do your moon salutation. It's for the end of the day to relax. But again, they both can be done at any time. The next few are actually fill in the blank. All right, so we had our terms, multiple choice, true and false, and these are the fill in the blank. Name 2 benefits of practicing yoga. So we went over the top 10 benefits, but really you could not get this question wrong. All right, it could be stress relief. It could be inner peace. It could be to improve my flexibility, to decrease back pain. There are whatever benefit, it could be your own personal benefit. You can't get it wrong. There's so many benefits of yoga. You have to name 2, all right? The next one is name 1 prone pose and 1 supine pose, all right? So what do we say supine? You're on your back. So it could be corpse pose. It could be the bridge pose. It could be happy baby, right? You're lying on your back, so pick 1. And then 1 prone is on your stomach. Okay, on your stomach could be cobra, could be sphinx, could be your tabletop because you're still in that position where you're in the prone position instead of on your back, okay? All right, the next one here is name 2 relaxation poses. So the more traditional ones, the top 2 that you probably would think about is corpse pose and child's pose. All right, but also you could say easy pose because at the end of class, sitting in your easy pose is considered a relaxation. But the 2 classic relaxations are corpse and child pose. All right, we're almost done. This test is worth 60 points, all right? Name 2 balance poses. So I want you to be thinking about that. A balance pose, it could be the tree pose, it could be dancer, it could be warrior 3. There's a number of balance poses. It could be even that crow pose, that challenge pose we did. Any pose that you're balancing, you're going to name 2. The 2 I would pick is tree and dancer, but whatever you want. All right. The next part is name the chakras. So you actually have to write them in order. All right. So I'm going to give you a little visual. We did the chakras. So if you're a visual person, you always start from the ground. All right. So it's numbered 1 through 7, and you're going to have to write the 7 chakras. So the number 1 would be the root chakra, which is from the ground. Then we have your sacral. Then we have your solar plex. Then your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your crown. So remember, it starts from the ground up. 1 is the root, all the way up to 7 is the crown. And you'll have to fill that in. All right. The next 2 questions you definitely going to get right. I just want to know what your favorite pose is because I like to see if I get a majority of a certain pose. You guys probably know my favorite is the boat pose. We pretty much do it every single class. I like it because it strengthens the core and it's flexible and all those things. I love it. So name your favorite pose and then what did you learn and or enjoy most about this yoga class? I enjoy getting the feedback and hearing from you what you really enjoyed. So I appreciate that. All right. The last part of the test is you have to ID 10 poses. So there's going to be a picture of the pose, but you have your bank of words. So you'll just have to match the pose with the name of the pose. So I'm going to physically do these for you, and these are the last 10. And again, you'll have the picture and the word, and you'll just have to put the letter that matches. So the first one is this pose, which is what? Down dog. The next pose, and this is warrior one. The next pose, we've done a few times. It's the bow, because your body's making that bow shape like the bow and arrow. All right, the next one is warrior three. Next one is forward fold. Next one is reverse warrior. Next one is one of my favorite too, tree pose. We can have our hands at heart center, but those legs are in that, I'm sorry, tree pose. What am I saying? Chair pose, sitting in that chair. Chair pose. All right. The next one is warrior two. Then we have the tree pose. Tree pose, hands can be at heart center. Let's see. Then we have your cobra. I think that was all of them. So down dog, warrior one, bow, warrior three, reverse, cobra, chair pose, forward fold, bow, down dog. Yep. All right, guys. So get that test done. I'm going to submit it or let it be available right now after I say goodbye to you. So have a fit and happy day. I have really enjoyed having you all in class, and I'm looking forward to seeing your yoga flow that you created, your video. Have a fit and happy day. Peace out.